Tucani, long count battle in Chicago 8 years before. Everyone's stunned by the fury of Lewis's attack.
What's happening, my friends? It's Cast Sports again, back for another afternoon with the family. Now, as usual, before I get started, let me give a shout out to the JBT community. It's just boxing talk. We're a group of people who just love to talk boxing. And we're always looking for others to join us. And you don't have to have a podcast. The only requirement is you just have to love to talk boxing. That's all. Mr. Cass, hashtag JBT. Trump. Mike Mazik. Let's talk fashion, hashtag JBT. Salute to everyone. And welcome to another episode of Cast Sports, the Box Story. Today, the life and career of Teofilo Stevenson. And you know what time it is. If it's Monday through Friday, 2 p.m., it's the Box Story, bringing you all that boxing history. Boxing is the greatest sport of them all. That's why we love it. Can't get enough of it. How's everyone doing? Friday afternoon edition of Cast Sports, the Box Story, pulled right up on another weekend. Like I told you Monday, it would be here in a couple hours, and it's here. It don't seem like just a couple hours went past. But yes, the life and career of Teofilo Stevenson today. How is everyone? I'm doing great now that I'm here with my friends, getting ready to talk that boxing. We got a big card coming up tomorrow. Christian and Billy against Sergey Derbyshchenko. something like that. But I'm going to talk about that card in a few minutes. Touch on the fights on it. We got that killer Abdullah Mason on there, Jahai Tucker. Mark Mandab is on there, the big Russian guy. They ranting and raving about him, but Ajit Karbayel wasn't worrying about him. They quit to the body. Broke him down. Classic case of breaking down. Not only quit, made him take a knee. Called Uncle. Yeah. Karbayel was too much for him. But he's on the card tomorrow. He's a good fighter. I think that's his only loss, as a matter of fact. We're going to touch on it. But yeah, Teofilo Stevenson today. And, you can't talk about nothing boxing in Cuba without bringing up that Cuban boxing system. So after the Teofilo profile, we're going to talk about that. A little history of Cuban boxing, and we're going to talk about that Cuban boxing system, man. The legendary Cuban boxing system they got down there. Every country should have an amateur system like the Cubans have, man. Yeah. And, they didn't start turning professional until 2022, just a couple of years ago. It was illegal to be a professional boxer in Cuba from 1962 to 2022, 60 years. You had to defect and leave the country for good. And the Bob Father and Don King and all the promoters from that era was trying hard to get Teofilo to defect. But Teofilo said he just loved his country too much, So he would never do it because, once he defected, he can never go back there. But not go back down there. Fidel Castro would have had something for him. But Teofilo said, nah, I'm not defecting. But it was the Bob Father almost got him. Offered a bunch of money to the Cuban government. And they was willing to let him turn professional to fight Ali, but then the United States stepped in and said that was violating the embargo they had against Cuba. So they wasn't able to do it. Yep. The U.S. government stepped in and stopped that. But we're going to talk about all that today. It's Friday, Cash Sports, The Box Story in the house for the next couple of hours. Appreciate everybody that's riding with me today. I'm going to try to make this good for you. Another big week of boxing history has gone past, but we got another one next week. And guess what? Monday, I'm going to be joined by my part-time co-host, William Old School Rant, and we're going to be talking about Muhammad Ali. Yep, Old School have given me the heads up that he's going to let me know for sure tomorrow, but he's pretty sure that he's going to be here Monday. So, yep, they'll be joining me. I don't even need any notes to do the Muhammad Ali profile. Yeah, I grew up on Ali, the 70s version. I ain't that damn old. The 70s version, but I seen a lot of them on film in the 60s. Yeah, I want to see what the Old School think about that Ali Teofilo Stevenson matchup. How it would have went, because like I was saying earlier in the week, I would have Ali in the early 70s, but get up to the late 70s. The Ali that lost to Trevor Berbick, that Ali ain't beating no Teofilo Stevenson. Just ain't happening. Not that Ali. Lost to Trevor Berbick. Teofilo probably would stop that Ali. Okay? Lost to Leon Spinks. No. But early 70s, or the Ali, pre-suspension Ali, no heavyweight in history is beating that Ali. 60s, pre-suspension Ali, no. There's no heavyweight out there in history of boxing that would beat that Ali. But that Ali would probably stop Teofilo. But late 70s, early 80s Ali, nah. I would pick Teofilo on that one. But that's a good dream fight. Okay. Great show this morning, by the way, Remo. You and Aunt McQueen. The two hardcore casuals. They call themselves the casuals. They either casual hardcores or hardcore casuals. Yeah, but a great fire episode, man. I love it because it's not just boxing, They move around. It was a great show. Great show. I think they had their New York hats on. I had my Oreo hat on. The Major League Baseball playoffs are coming. We're in there again. Okay. Orioles are back. And might come down to us and the Yankees in the American League. But yeah, that's coming up. A great show, Remo, this morning. Yeah. Remo's doing big things over there. He got Let's Talk Fashion on Wednesdays and the Casuals on Fridays. Scared of him, man. But proud of you, bro. Good job, Remo. And Aunt McQueen, too. Yeah. Great episode. If anybody haven't seen it, yeah. The Casuals. Is it? I think it must be 10 on Fridays. I think it was before 11 when I came in. But Friday morning, between 10 and 11. The Casuals. Check it out. Another fire JBT show. We're gonna touch on this. Let's touch on this card right quick while we're waiting on 2:30 to get here. Okay, I'm feeling good today. Yeah, I only seen one card tomorrow. That was Christian and Billy and Sergey Derevyanchenko. I think that's it. Derevyanchenko. Syllabalize it out, Cass. Syllabalize it. Derevyanchenko. So that's close. But yeah, Old School will be here with me Monday. And we're going to talk about Muhammad Ali. Yeah, that's going to be interesting because, like I said, I don't even need any notes to talk about Muhammad. I'm going to slide this way. Oh, it's at the top. Okay. I got to come down. Yeah. We got Abdullah Mason on that card, Jahai Tucker. There you go. And Billy and Sergey Derevyanchenko. Let's touch on that right quick while we wait. Okay. Now the main event, yeah, Christian and Billy versus Sergey Derevyanchenko. I like saying that because I don't never get that close to a long name like that. But salute to everybody that's in the building so far. I appreciate you rocking with me today. Yeah, Let's Talk Fashion, Mike Magic, Trump, and Miss Cass. Okay. The regular suspects. But and Billy is 29 years old. He comes in at 27-0, 23 knockouts. Let me get my calculator. Me and them knockout rates. Yeah, pretty good knockout rate for Sergey. What I say, 27-0, 23 knockouts. What is that? Me and them knockout rates, man. I don't know what it is. Just lucky. But that's 85% knockout rate for Christian. And he has already stopped 2 opponents this year. Okay, 2 fights, 2 stoppages. He's number 1 in the WBC rankings at 168. This is at super middleweight, by the way. Christian is ranked number 1 by the WBC, right? And he hopes to earn a title shot in this fight, right? But he knows getting an impressive win over Derevyanchenko could be tough. Now, Sergey, he comes in at 15-5 with 10 knockouts, right? And he gained notoriety by pushing former champions like Daniel Jacobs and Triple G, Gennady Golovkin, to the limit. And, he lost 2 decisions to those 2, but they were both good fights. And he really earned a lot of respect from those 2 fights. Sergey did. Now, since the Triple G loss, he has gone 2 wins, 3 losses, including losses to Jermell Charlo and Jaime Munguia. But Derevyanchenko has proven he is a serious threat at any weight, right? And he's ready to show that again this weekend against the Billy. So that should be a pretty good main event. Now, the co-main on that card is Arlenbek Makhmudov versus Guido Vianello in the heavyweight division, right? Now, Makhmudov comes in with 19 wins, just that 1 loss that I was talking about. Ajit Carvajal stopped him. But he has 18 knockouts. So, wow, only 1 man has went the distance out of his win. That is an incredible knockout rate there. 94.7% for Makhmudov. So, likely to see a stoppage if he wins. And he was stopped by Ajit Carvajal last year for his only loss, right? But he rebounded with a knockout win against Milhan Rakhkonen. That was in May, just a couple months ago. Now his opponent, Vianello, comes in 12 wins, 2 losses, 1 draw. He has 10 knockouts. That ain't too bad. Not many fights, but that ain't too bad at all. Knockout rate. 83%, okay? Now Vianello is 2-2 in his last 4 fights. And he's coming off a loss against Effie Ajagba in April. Remember that one? Yeah, Effie. But his last fight, he lost that one. Then Arsley Iglesias versus Sina Agbiko on the card. Iglesias is 11-0 with 10 knockouts. Wow, so you might see some knockouts on this card, man. All these knockout rates. Wow. That's 90%. Yeah. Yeah, want to see some stoppage. But he's ranked number 3 at 168. Mark Moldov and Vianello, of course, was at heavyweight. Now this fight is at another super middleweight fight, and Iglesias is ranked number 3, right? He's a Cuban fighter, and he's trying to win his 3rd fight this year. 2-0 so far this year. Now Agbiko comes in at 28 wins, 3 losses, 22 knockouts. Okay. Now he had won 5 out of his last 6 fights after losing to David Morrell. He had won 5 straight before losing to David Morrell in December of last year. And he's from Ghana. So we got a pretty good little streak going. Then we got a women's fight on the card. We got Layla Begodoin versus Lisbeth Crespo. This is at super featherweight. Pair of super featherweights in the women's fighting. Now Begodoin comes in 11 wins, 1 loss, just 1 knockout. And she's on a 2-fight winning streak and is going after her 2nd win this year. Her opponent, Crespo, comes in 15 wins, 7 losses, 4 knockouts. She's from Bolivia, right? Former IBF title challenger. And she lost her last fight against Myra Moneo. That was in December 2023. Then we got that killer, Abdullah Mason. Abdullah's going up against Mike Ohan, right? And Mike Ohan Jr. in the lightweight division. Mason comes in 14-0, 12 knockouts. I don't know why I was thinking that he had 100% knockout rate, but 2 people did go to this one. But that's still 85% knockout rate, okay? And Mason, Bob Father is high on this young fighter. You know, he received the Bob Father stamp of approval. One of his young fighters that he's crazy about. And this is Mason's 4th fight this year. 3-0 so far this year. So he's been busy. His opponent, Ohan, comes in at 19 wins, 2 losses, 9 knockouts. And he's on a 3-fight winning streak. It's probably going to come to a stop tomorrow. Calls himself Bad Man. But he hasn't fought since 2022. Been out the ring for a couple years. But he has won his last 3 fights when he was in there. Okay. And then we have Jahai Tucker on the card, going to get up against Santiago Fernandez. Middleweight, okay? Jahai comes in 11 wins, just 1 loss, 1 draw, 5 knockouts, 21 years old, okay? And he had an impressive win in his last outing over Quincy Lavallee. That was in June, a couple months ago. And he's looking for another statement fight this weekend. Now his opponent, D1, average, angry. You know, I'm thinking about the average white man. D1 from the Angry White Men, #JBT. And that's tonight at 10 p.m. Don't miss that one. That's a fire podcast, man. They took off like, woo, crazy. It's still going strong. D1 and William Old School of Rant. William Old School Red will be here with me Monday. We're going to talk about Muhammad Ali. We get together like once a month or stuff. You know, it's all JBT, you know. Might see any of us anywhere at any given time. But you will see D1 and Old School tonight at 10 p.m. Salute D1. I'm just running down the card tomorrow. You know, wait till 2:30 to start. So just, you know, give them a little time. And we were on the Jahai Tucker fight. Jahai's fighting Santiago Fernandez. I just covered Jahai 11-1, 1 draw. His opponent, Santiago Fernandez, is 8-1 with 1 draw. 4 knockouts. Now he lost his first fight in his career in his last outing. That was in May against Alejandro Gamont, right? And he's had 2 fights this year. He's 1-1, lost his last one. 31 years old. He's looking to get back on the winning track in this fight. against Jahai. Okay. Yeah, that is a great card, D1. Great card. And finally, Thomas Shabbat versus Matthias Ezekiel. Okay. Winning Mill. Super featherweight. Now, Shabbat is 10-0 with 8 knockouts. We got some good knockout rates. So you're going to see some stoppages tomorrow. All these good knockout rates, man. That's 80%, Yeah. And he's trying to go 2-0 this year. He won his last fight. He stopped Alfredo Jimenez. That was in May. This is the second fight this year. Winning Mill is 10-3 with 1 draw. He's 2-2 in his last 4 fights, right? From Argentina. And this is his first fight in over a year. He fought early in 2023, so been out of the ring for a minute, but he's getting back in there tomorrow. Yeah, D1 is right. That is a great card, man. And we're going to be starting on Teofilo Stevenson. Yeah, Teofilo. I was getting ready to say Teofimo Lopez. Teofilo Stevenson. Yeah, one of those Cuban fighters. Never turned professional. They tried, though. The Godfather, Don King, back in the 70s, they tried hard. Like I told you, the Godfather almost had him. He gave Cuba so many millions. He gave the money to the country, and Fidel was like, give it here, Castro. But the United States stepped in and said that would be violating the embargo they had against Cuba. You can't get them all that money. So they stopped, the United States government stopped that fight. We was going to get Teofilo and Muhammad. And Teofilo was going to fight for the title in his first fight. This guy did that against Floyd Patterson back in the 50s. Pete Rademacher, something like that. Yeah, it's in my notes during the show. But yeah, Teofilo would have been the second heavyweight to do that. But they almost had him, and then the United States government stepped in. Because, relations was terrible with Cuba back then. Fidel was president, and they just did with all that money going down there. Had the embargo against them, but politics should never step in, rear its ugly head in the sports, man. Like in 1980, Jimmy Carter was president, and Russia invaded Afghanistan. So Jimmy Carter, and the Olympics was in Moscow, Russia. So Jimmy Carter stopped the Olympic team from going, man. All those kids been training their whole life to go to the Olympics, and then politics gonna step in and stop it. And then guess what happened 20 years later? They boycotted Russia for invading Afghanistan. 20 years later, the United States invaded Afghanistan. Just crazy, man. And then, of course, the Olympics was in Los Angeles 4 years later in 1984. Of course, the Russians didn't come. And their closest ally, the Cubans, didn't come. So I got asterisks by those 2 Olympics. 1980 in Moscow, the U.S. wasn't there. 1984 in L.A., the Russians or the Cubans wasn't there. A lot of athletes that got gold medals in those 2 Olympics wouldn't have them. The U.S. had been there in 80, and Russia and Cuba had been there in 84. So, yeah, those 2 Olympics have definitely had asterisks by them. Mike Rim. What's happening, Mike? Mike is here. Salute, Mike Rim. How are you today? Teofilo Stevenson is the subject of today, the life and career of Teofilo Stevenson. Yep, we're at the end of another big week of boxing history, and we always close it out with the profile. Next week is going to be Zab Judah. Life and career of Zab Judah next week. Yeah, that's going to be a good long one. This was a short one because Teofilo never turned pro. So we're just going to basically talk about his amateur career because that's all he had. And then after we finish, of course, we're going to talk about that Cuban boxing system. That was legendary. They start their kids down there in that system in grade school, man. Yep. Just about every young kid in that country goes through that, man. It's serious. And, we're going to talk about it. It all started back in the 60s when the Russians sent some of their boxing advisors over there to get it started. And then, they had that good system going, but in 62, they banned the fighters from turning professional. They wanted to control amateur boxing. Sort of like a political type thing. That the communists, they wanted to be running things. That was like dominance to them. So, yeah. But we're going to talk about it. Bruce Gas, Boxing, Jazz, and more in the building. Salute, Bruce Gas. Good to see you today. I tried to come into your live earlier, Bruce, and it just went off there. Something happened. It was there. You was talking. Then I came in. All of a sudden, it said not available or something. Yeah, but that was this morning. I was trying to catch Bruce. The Bruce Gas Boxing Jazz Morning building. What's up, bro? By your channel. Great guy, Bruce Gas. Great brother there. But yeah, let's get ready to start on Teofilo Stevenson. How's everybody today? It's Friday. And I told y'all Monday it would be here in a couple of hours. And it's been just a couple of hours since it was Monday. I was asking y'all how was your weekend, remember? Now, don't everybody have a great weekend. But hey, that's life. You just got to move along with it, right? But yeah, another big, like I was telling you, Monday, old school's gonna come here and join me, and we're gonna talk about Muhammad Ali. Yeah, so that should be good. Yeah, I want to hear old school's opinion on Muhammad Ali versus Teofilo Stevenson. So that should be good. Don't miss that Monday, 2 p.m. Monday through Friday, 2 p.m. It's the box story. Okay, part of that fire JBT, and don't forget the raffle coming up. The next one is October 12th. Here's Thomas. What's up, Thomas Hill? Hashtag JBT. How are you today, bro? Teofilo Stevenson. Don't forget the raffle coming up October 12th for the Apple 10th generation iPad. There's going to be 3 winners this time. Okay? I'll probably have second and third prizes for you by Monday after the meeting this weekend. So we'll know by Monday what the other 2 prizes. The first place is the Apple 10th generation iPad. Just send $10 for 1 chance. $25 will get you 3 chances. Okay, like Coach Tommy, he's in the $25 3 chance program. Okay, but just send you $10 here. JBT Network, all capital letters. The number 1. And this is our second raffle. The first one was the winner D1. And he's up there watching his color TV. I don't know if he's watching it right this second, but he got it and he's enjoying it. His 55-inch color TV. So who's going to win this one? Okay. Our second raffle. 3 winners this time. So get your ticket. Right? You got until October 12th. Win yourself an Apple 10th generation iPad or 2 other prizes, which you would probably know Monday what they are. Okay? And good luck to everyone. Yeah. Somebody said something about it might be some headphones. I need some headphones bad, but I'm the treasurer collecting the money and stuff, so it wouldn't be right for me to win. You could be letting Cat Sport one. You collecting the money. Where's all the money at? You know? Did you have anybody else's name, or did you have your name in there like 50 times? So I'm not getting in it. But good luck to everyone. T Hill, it says it's too big. I can't get it to play. The commercial. It says it's the wrong size. I tried. But we'll see what happens. I'll have it together soon. Yeah. As soon as my 7-year-old granddaughter get over here and help me. You know. But yeah. But Melanie Queen 27 will be here and she'll be advertising it big time. And yeah, you can support the grind too. Cash Sports, $CAS 2878, or hit that $sign down in the corner. You know, support the grind. All monies are going to the betterment of the channel. Okay. Okay, I will, T Hill, after the show is over. Okay. We'll get it together. Okay. Okay. Let's go with today's show. The life and career of Teofilo Stevenson. Or the Teofilo Stevenson. I believe it's Teofilo, because it's Teofimo Lopez, right? Teofilo Stevenson. I stayed in the amateurs his entire career. He got only one of 3 fighters with 3 Olympic gold medals, though. Him and Laszlo Pat and another Cuban, Felix Savant. I think Laszlo Pep from Hungary, I don't think they turned professional either. Another communist country. Although they did let him turn professional toward the end of his career. He was damn near 40 years old then, you know. But let's go with today's show. The life and career of Teofilo Stevenson. Here we go. Yeah. I don't know why I still had Christian and Billy and Deborah Yanchenko still up there. That's old Teofilo. Hope everybody's enjoying their Friday and ready for this weekend. That is a great card tomorrow, though. Okay, there's young Teofilo. All right, now, Teofilo Stevenson Lawrence, okay? He was a Cuban amateur boxer who competed from 1966 to 1986. Had a 20-year career. Great 20-year run, okay? Now, he fought at heavyweight his entire career in the amateurs, right? And fought out of the orthodox stance. He was 6'3" tall, had a reach of 78 inches. Now, he had a total of 332 fights, right? Of which he won 302, okay? He lost 22. He had 8 draws. Just a very decorated amateur career. Over 20 years, you know. Okay. Yeah, we'll get that together after the show, T. Hill. James Brody, what's up, James? Good to see you today. Salute. James says Stevenson was a lot older and stronger than the U.S. fighters. A brother named Clark gave him a good fight. Yeah, you're right, James. He was older. But it wasn't his fault. His country wouldn't let him turn professional. And he didn't want to defect because he could never go back. And he loved Cuba. And if he defected, he would never be able to go back there, man. You know, all his family and friends were there. So, you know, everybody didn't want to defect like that. So, yeah. But still, that wasn't his fault, you know, the situation he was in. He just made the best of it, you know. But yeah, he had over 300 fights. And he won over 300. So a very decorated amateur career. Let's look at his early years. Well, first, Stevenson won the Val Barker Trophy. That's the, that's the best boxer in the Olympics, Val Barker, I believe, right? We're going to get into that later. As well, he was honored with the Olympic Order. He won the Val Barker in 1972. He won the Olympic Order in 1987. And he is one of only 3 boxers to win 3 Olympic gold medals. 3 boxers ever to accomplish that feat. There's Lonnie Lee in the building. What's up, Lonnie? You missed about 2 minutes of the show. Lonnie Lee, hashtag JBT is here. Salute. Happy Friday. It's on to the weekend. And we got the monster in about a week and a half. Tuesday after this one. D.A. Monster. The Monster. And my main man on the card, man, Yoga. We about the same age. Barroso. Yeah. Barroso's in his 60s. And all those guys at 140 afraid of a 60-year-old man. That's crazy. But yeah, Stevenson won the Val Barker Trophy in 1972 and the Olympic Order in 1987. One of 3 boxers to win 3 Olympic gold medals. The Hungarian Laszlo Pep and his fellow Cuban, Felix Savant, is the other 2. Now let's look at Teofilo's early life. I keep wanting to say Teofimo, but Teofilo, okay? Now, Teofilo Stevenson Lawrence was born in Puerto Padre, Cuba. His father, Teofilo Stevenson Patterson, was an immigrant from St. Vincent. His mother, Dolores Lawrence, was a native Cuban, but her parents were immigrants from the Anglophone island of St. Kitts, okay? Now, his father, Teofilo Sr., arrived in Cuba in 1923, and he found work wherever he could before settling in Camagüey with Dolores, and where his father gave English lessons to top up his meager income, right? Now, due to his large size, Teofilo Sr. was encouraged into boxing by local trainers, fighting 7 times before becoming disillusioned by the corrupt payment structure on offer to young fighters. Okay? His father got disillusioned by the way they was paying him. Now, excuse me for a minute, Teofilo Jr. Okay? Now, Teofilo Jr., okay? There's him and Fidel. Teofilo Jr. was a shiftless but bright child who at 9 years old soon found himself sparring at the makeshift open-air gym his father had went to, right? Now, under the tutelage of former national light heavyweight champion John Herrera, Teofilo Jr. began his career fighting far more experienced boxers. But according to Herrera, Teofilo had what it took. And despite his growing involvement in the sport, Teofilo had yet to tell his mother about his activity, right? His mother didn't even know he was fighting. Al Booker in the building. What's up, AB? How are you today? Ready for the weekend, brother? I'm ready. Got that buy your card tomorrow, Christian and Billy. Don't sleep on Sergey Derevyanchenko now. Don't do it. You gave all them little Danny Jacobs, Triple G. He fought Mel, Jaime Munguia. Sergey been in there against everybody. Experienced fighter. So, yeah. Billy come in there with no defense throwing all walls. Sergey might punch in between one of them and might end up bad. But it should be a good fight. It's a good card overall. Great card overall, like D1 said. I'm looking forward to it. But salute Al Booker. We're talking about Teofilo today. Okay? Yeah. He been boxing for a while. He hadn't even told his mother about it yet. He thought she would disagree with him doing it. But eventually, his father broke the news to his wife, right? And Teofilo's mother was furious. But she relented and agreed to let him to stay in boxing on the provision that he was accompanied by his father. And his father agreed to that. Okay? Let's take a look at his boxing career. Okay? Teofilo's career. Okay. Now, beginnings. Now, the young Teofilo continued to improve under Herrera, that was his coach, former light heavyweight champion. In the mid-1960s, he won a junior title and gained additional training in Havana. And his victories drew the attention of Andrei Chervenyenko, a head coach in Cuba's newly implemented state sports system. That was when that Cuban boxing system was really getting off the ground back around that time, early to mid-60s, okay? They had already banned him from turning pro in 62. And he started up really focusing on the amateur system because they wanted to be dominant. And this guy, Andrei Chervenyenko, was imported from Russia to oversee it. And he started taking an interest in Teofilo around this time, middle 60s, right? So, professional sports throughout the island have been outlawed since 1962. There I go again, getting ahead of the program. Stay with the script, guys. Anyway, like I said before, professional sports throughout the island have been outlawed since 1962 by Government Resolution 83A. And all boxing activity had come under the guidance of the government-sponsored National Boxing Commission. Chervenyenko, a retired boxer himself, had been sent by the Soviet Union, who had created Cuba's Escuela de Boxeo, boxing school, in a derelict old gym in Havana. And like I said, he started taking an interest in Teofilo, and he began to champion his progress, okay? Yep. Now, Stevenson's senior boxing, his father's boxing career began at age 17 with a defeat in the national championships against the experienced heavyweight Gabriel Garcia, right? I don't know why I said his father was talking about Teofilo. Despite the setback, he went on to register convincing wins over Nuncio Carrillo and Juan Perez, two of Cuba's finest boxers in the weight division, right? Securing a place on the national team for the 1970 Central American and Caribbean Boxing Championships, right? Now, he won his first 3 fights, but he lost in the final, right? And he firmly established himself as Cuba's premier heavyweight, okay? After that performance in those 2 tournaments. Now, back in the gym, Turpenjenko and leading Cuban boxing coach Alcides Segura worked on Stevenson's jab, which became his ultimate weapon. Yeah, that jab became legendary. Yes, it did. Okay, so they worked on that, and that became his ultimate weapon. And it paid dividends when the Cuban easily defeated East Germany's Bern Anders. Okay, and that was a big shot. Bern Anders. There is Bern Anders right here. Okay, here's Bern Anders, right? And he was a big time guy from Germany, man, fighter. And when Stevenson beat him, man, the world stood up and took notice. Oh, there we go. Okay. Now he easily defeated East Germany's Bern Anders in front of a surprised Berlin crowd. Went to Germany and did it too. Okay. In front of a surprised Berlin crowd. The victory made the entire amateur boxing world take notice of Stevenson as a serious heavyweight contender. That went over Anders did. Yeah, that was big time. So Munich Olympics, 1972. That was his first big coming out party. The Munich Olympics, 1972. Okay, everybody smashing on the appreciation button. Okay. Now, he was now 20 years old. He made the Cuban boxing team for the Munich Olympics of 1972. His opening fight was against experienced Polish fighter Ludwik Denderis. Here's Ludwik. What's up, Ludwik? Okay, that was his opening fight. Now, this fight began dramatically. Stevenson dropped Ludwik within 30 seconds of the first round, right? And the first was stopped moments later due to a large cut next to Ludwig's eye. Okay? Proceeding to the quarterfinals, Stevenson met American boxer Dwayne Bobbitt. There's Dwayne. Met Dwayne at that Olympics. Dwayne was a pretty good professional fighter for the United States. Okay? Met Dwayne Bobbitt. And Bobbitt was a gold medalist at the 1971 Pan American Games leading into the Olympics. And he had beaten Stevenson previously, right? Now, in this fight with Bobbitt, after a close first round, Stevenson lost the second round. But a ferocious display in the third round, he knocked Bobbitt to the canvas 3 times, and the fight was stopped. And the victory was viewed on television throughout Cuba, and is still considered Stevenson's most memorable performance that went over Dwayne Bobbitt. Because Dwayne was a highly touted amateur, and he had won the Pan American Games coming into that Olympics, right? And he had beaten Stevenson previously. Okay? And Stevenson easily defeated German Peter Hussing in the semifinal by TKO in the second round. And he received his gold medal after Romanian Ion Alexei failed to appear in the final due to injury. Okay? And that year, the Cuban boxing team won 3 gold medals, their first in Olympic boxing history, as well as 1 silver and 1 bronze. The Munich Games established Cuba as dominant over the amateur sport, and that was to last decades. It also established Stevenson as the world's premier amateur heavyweight boxer. Okay, the 1972 Olympics, like I said, that was his coming out party. Okay, now, less than 2 years after his successful performance at the Munich Olympics, Stevenson, then 22 years old, was rewarded with a house for himself in Havana and another house for himself and his family in Delicias. Stevenson later recalled, I had no idea the house in Delicious was going to be so big. When I was shown the plans, I said, what is this, a bunker? Now, the Amateur International Boxing Association president, Anwar Chowdhury, when asked did the Cuban authorities act properly in giving Stevenson 2 houses and 2 cars, said, these things should not be allowed. If gifts are to be given, it should be for everybody, not for a few. And over tea in his office, Havana Sports City Coliseum, INDER president Conrad Martinez, and INDER is just like a Cuban government department. It's the National Institute of Sport, Physical Education, and Recreation. That's what INDER is. But anyway, the president of INDER down in Cuba, he said he defended the local practice of giving cars and apartments to top athletes. He said, our country has the obligation of solving the problems of all citizens, the problems of their nourishment, housing, education, and health, he said. It's a pity we can't solve this problem in the way we need to for everybody. Yeah, giving a top athlete a house isn't solving no problems for hunger and housing and stuff. What does that solve? Nothing. Now let's look at Teofilo's prime years. Okay? Prime years. Now, I put that in front of my clock. Got to keep track of the time. We're going to talk about the Cuban boxing system when this profile is over, because the only put in the amateurs it's kind of short. Prime years. Then we're going to have some link time too at the end. Stevenson did the same at the inaugural 1974 World Championships in Havana, Cuba, and then in the 1976 Summer Olympics held in Montreal. Stevenson repeated the feat once again. By then, he had become a national hero in Cuba. This was the point where he was the closest to signing a professional contract, as American fight promoters offered him $5 million US to challenge world heavyweight champion Muhammad Ali. If he had accepted, it would have made Stevenson the second boxer to go straight from the Olympics into a professional debut with the world's heavyweight champion, crown on the line, after Pete Rademacher. Rademacher, after the 52 Olympics, he went straight to a championship fight with Floyd Patterson in the heavyweight division. He lost, of course, but yeah, Stevenson would have been the second one, because if he had accepted that money to turn pro, his first fight was going to be for the championship against Ali. Yeah, but he didn't accept. Okay, now Stevenson refused the offer, asking, "What is $1 million compared to the love of 8 million Cubans?" See, he loved his country, and if he defected, he would never be able to come home. Right? Stevenson went to the 1980 Summer Olympics in Moscow and became the second boxer ever, after Laszlo Papahanri, to win 3 Olympic boxing gold medals. And the Moscow Games were the 19th occurrence of the modern Olympic Games. Okay? Stevenson participated at the 1982 World Amateur Boxing Championships in Munich, but lost to the eventual silver medalist and future professional world champion, Francesco Damiani from Italy. This fight ended an 11-year unbeaten run by Stevenson, and was the only occasion that he did not win the gold medal at the World Championships when he entered the competition. Okay? Now his loss by a split decision to Alexander Lustin of the Soviet Union in the finals of the 1983 Cordova card as the Soviet Union. Now his loss by a split decision to Alexander Lustin of the Soviet Union in the finals of the 1983 Cordova Garden Games. The Soviet Union coach Konstantin Kopsev later admitted that loss was due to a plaster-like tape they hand-wrapped Luskin's fist with instead of a regular elastic hand wrapping. Now, why wasn't somebody there watching them do the wrappings? They didn't do that back then. They do that in the amateurs now, right? Somebody watched the other team wrap, but he said he wrapped plaster-type substance in the man's gloves. Wow. Now, Stevenson might have won a 4th gold medal at the 1984 Summer Olympic Games in LA, but the Soviet Union boycotted the games, which were hosted by Los Angeles, in retaliation for the American boycott of the 1980 Moscow competition. Cuba followed the Soviet Union lead, and Stevenson did not compete. For consolation, he beat future Olympic champion Tyrell Biggs, who won the gold medal that year. He beat Biggs in February 1984 before the Olympics, breaking 3 ribs in the process. And he won the super heavyweight gold medal at the 1984 Friendship Games, defeating Uli Kaden of East Germany. And in the final, Valery, I'm not going to mess with his last name, of the Soviet Union, Valery Abedzinian, something like that. Just Do Boxing in the building. What's up, Just Do? Salute. Talking about Teofilo Stevenson. Okay? This is why, bear with me for a minute. I'm not trying this guy's last name, but he beat this guy right here. I'll tell you about it in a minute, but I'm going to, always let y'all pronounce it for yourself. I can pronounce his first name, Valerie. That's a woman's name, isn't it? Valerie. Valerie. That's what it is. Valerie. Okay. Last name, it's got about 50 letters in it. A-B-A. Say it with me. D-Z-H-Y-A-N. Not only can I not pronounce it, I spelled it wrong. Come on, Cass. People waiting for it. There it is. This guy right there. Okay? He beat him on the now I lost my place. Yeah. He beat Valerie of the Soviet Union. That was in the final of the 1984 Friendship Games when they boycotted the Olympics, okay? Yeah. But salute to Just Do Boxing in the building, coming up at 4 p.m. Okay. Now, at the 1986 World Amateur Boxing Championships, he won the super heavyweight gold, defeating Alex Garcia from the United States in the final. Stevenson retired from boxing shortly after 1988 Summer Olympics, which Cuba also boycotted. That was in South Korea, and Cuba boycotted that one because South Korea wouldn't let North Korea have a part of it. They wanted them to let them have some of the events in North Korea, but South Korea said no. And the other communist countries like Russia and Cuba didn't like that, so they boycotted. Okay? So they didn't go to 2 Olympics. 2 straight, 84 or 88. He might have had 5 gold medals. He went to those 2 because he was still dominating in those years. But after that Olympics, he retired. Now, his rivalry with Vysotsky, okay? Now, Stevenson was known for 2 fights with Soviet boxer Igor Vysotsky. Yeah, I got a picture of Igor. There's Igor, right there. What's up, Igor? There's Igor Vysotsky. Now, that's right. Vysotsky. V-Y-S-O-T-S-K-Y. Syllabalized, Cass. Vysotsky. This is about Stevenson's rivalry with Igor. Okay? Now, Stevenson was known for 2 fights with Soviet boxer Igor Vysotsky, who defeated him twice. Right? He beat Stevenson 2 times. Vysotsky later said in an interview with East Side Boxing, "I fought Teofilo twice. We first met at the Cordova Cardin tournament in 1973 in Cuba." That was the Cuban-sponsored tournament there. "I think the first 2 opponents, both being Cuban." He said, "I took the first 2 opponents, both being Cuban, out early. In the third, I beat Stevenson on points, although the score was 3-2. The pace of the fight forced Teofilo to take 2 necessary breaks to retie his gloves. We had a saying in the USSR, it's easier to win the world championships than it is to win Cordova Cardin. Because Cuba always kind of like cheated against foreigners in that tournament. The second time was at a Class A International tournament in Minsk, that's in Poland, in March 1976. In each stanza, Stevenson took a count, while in the final 3 minutes, I knocked him out. That was Igor talking. Igor Vatsatsi, interview with Eastside Boxing, 2006. Now, Vatsatsi was the only boxer out of hundreds of Stevenson's opponents to ever stop him, okay, and to defeat him twice, both times in his prime, without being avenged. And on top of that, Vatsatsi scored his first victory over Stevenson at the Cordoba Garden, Cuba's home tournament, where they do their best to never let any foreigner into the finals. In other words, they cheat, okay? Stevenson's second loss to Vatsatsi happened 6 weeks before his knockout winning streak at the 1976 Olympics in Montreal, which ended up with victories over Big John Tate and Mercedes Simon. After losing to Vatsatsi for a second time, he said, "Nobody is invincible." Okay? Now let me get through all this mess. This is long. How's everybody today? Hope you're enjoying the show today. Teofilo Stevenson. Monday, back with old school. Now, at his prime in the 1970s, right? Stevenson's dominance in the amateur heavyweight division coincided with Muhammad Ali's reign as the professional world heavyweight champion. Okay, those two, where they were going side by side during that time, right? And with Muhammad Ali's reign as a heavyweight champion in professional boxing. Stevenson was often dubbed by the American media as Ali's communist twin, and speculations always went back and forth as to their much anticipated fight, if Stevenson would accept an offer to turn pro. Okay? I keep losing my place. Which in essence meant to defect and to leave Cuba permanently, never to be able to return, right? And along with Pete Rademacher, we just talked about that, Stevenson was the only amateur boxer who was offered a shot at the world's heavyweight title in his first professional fight. Remember, Rademacher fought Floyd Patterson out of the 1952 Olympics in his first fight. Floyd beat him. Now, Eventually, Ali spent 1 week in Cuba with Stevenson, but their matchup would never happen. Stevenson, when he finally met Ali, did suggest to Ali to arrange a 3 or 4 round fight, but Ali refused to fight Stevenson's way, implying he would face him off in a standard 15-round championship fight, in which he would have an edge by outlasting his opponent. But although in 1971, Ali himself invited the recent Soviet heavyweight champion, Kamo Sarayan, who visited the United States, for a 2-round fight, but he wouldn't fight Stevenson in a shortened fight. But he fought the Russian, who Ali suggested that himself, okay? Now, when the aging Ali was going to fight Larry Holmes in 1980, and Stevenson was making his way to his 3rd gold medal in Moscow, Stevenson commented to the press that now it was Ali who should have insisted on a 3 or 4 round fight. Yeah, after what Holmes did to him. Ali was already suffering from Parkinson's around that time too. Yep. Now, George Foreman said about Stevenson, Big George said, Stevenson is a champion in all kinds of ways. He has it all. Stevenson is about as better of a fighter as I've ever seen, professional or amateur. I haven't seen this much class and skill in the professional for a long time, nor at the amateur ranks. This is Big George talking. Stevenson would undoubtedly become champion of the world professionally if he decided to. He has the skill and qualifications anytime he wants to become champion of the world. George Foreman speaks on Stevenson's performance versus Big John Tate in in the 1976 Olympics in Montreal, Canada. Yeah, George had high praise for Stevenson. Now, Stevenson turned down several lucrative offers to go pro, which came from various internationally well-known U.S. boxing kingpins, most notably from Don King and Bob Arum, the Bob father. King's top rival, the Bob father, almost succeeded and came the closest to pulling it off, the Ali Stevenson matchup. When he offered, the Cubans accepted Bob father's $1 million offer for 5 3-round exhibition fights. Now, this was in the 70s. $1 million is much more nowadays, right? Okay. But the Bob father almost had him. They almost accepted it. The Bob father offered them $1 million for 5 3-round exhibition fights. And the Cubans accepted. Okay? They said, we plan to use this money for social problems. An Ender official said at the time. Ender is a government department down there, some kind of sports department. But the U.S. Treasury Department did not allow this series to go on, saying that it violated terms of the U.S. embargo against Cuba. Yeah, the United States government stepped in and stopped it. Ain't that something? And apart from that attempt, the Bob father also used the Jamaican promoter Lucien Chen as a mediator or go-between to propose a $1 million fight against Leon Spinks. Couldn't get the Ali fight, so the Bob father tried Leon Spinks. Okay, that was after Spinks beat Ali and took the belt. I'm gonna give Teofilo a shot at that one. And the Jamaican promoter said, I envisioned a fight that would be attended by the two presidents, Fidel Castro and Jimmy Carter, Chen said. That wasn't happening back then. Wasn't no United States president giving Fidel Castro that kind of press or prestige of appearing with him. That just was not happening. Jimmy Carter would have got impeached. He'd have did some shit like that. No, they wasn't going to do that. So that was a non-starter. You know, the relations between the United States and Cuba back then, no United States president was going to sit up there with Fidel Castro. Donald Trump would have did it. Trump would have did it, yeah. Trump be like, I do what I want to do. You know? But nevertheless, Stevenson's professional debut never did happen, okay? Never happened. Because he remained loyal to the Cuban revolutionary ideals, never accepting any payday for himself, no matter how big it appeared. And after knocking out 3 opponents at the Munich Olympics in September 1972, including Dwayne Barbic of the United States, Stevenson was approached by an American promoter who offered him $1 million to turn pro on the spot. You know, after the 1972 Olympics in Munich, they tried to get him to defect, not to return to Cuba, but he turned it down. That's how they do. They get you out of the country at an Olympics or something and offer you money right then to defect. They offered him $1 million to just leave right then. Probably had his home and everything set up for him over here. But he said no, he loved this country too much. Right? And Stevenson said, I will not trade the Cuban people for all the dollars in the world. Okay? That's what he said to their promoter at that time. Stevenson would have been phenomenal as a pro. He could have been in the same class as Muhammad Ali or Joe Frazier, but we'll never know, said Don King. And they said an American promoter, they wouldn't name him, but you know that was Don King, that approached him in Munich tried to get him to defect on the spot. They wouldn't name him, but you know it was Don King. Sound just like Don King. Yeah. Approach him on the spot, defect right now. I got $1 million, got you all set up, your living and everything. That was Don King. I would bet money on it. Okay. And then came retirement for Teofilo. Let's talk about his retirement. And we're going to talk about the Cuban boxing school today, too. You can't talk about any kind of boxing in Cuba without bringing that up, man. No way. Retirement. There's retired Teofilo right there. Everybody come in. Yeah, D1. Oh, D1 has been in the building. Salute, D1. Yeah, don't forget tonight at 10 p.m., the Angry White Men, D1 and William Old School Rand, okay? Old School is always angry. D1 might not be angry, then 30 seconds later, he's angry. So the Angry White Men tonight. Fire JBT show. Don't miss that one. That's one of our big news shows. Angry White Men, 10 p.m. tonight. Retirement. Stevenson finished his sports career in 1988. He started to work as a boxing trainer and sports functionary, okay? He worked at the National Institute for Sports, Physical Education and Recreation. That's INDER, right? Also, he served as vice president of the Cuban Boxing Federation, all right? In 1999, Stevenson was arrested for an altercation incident at Miami International Airport, where before boarding a United Airlines chartered jet of the Cuban national boxing team, he allegedly now headbutted a 41-year-old United Airlines ticket counter employee, knocking out several of his teeth. According to Stevenson, an agitator approached him at the airport, shouting insults against the Cuban government. Stevenson failed to attend the subsequent court proceedings, having traveled to Havana after his release from custody while on bail. The only way they was going to get him in court, they would have had to keep him with no bail. You know, Teofilo wasn't coming back. Once he got out of that jail, Teofilo said, see you, wouldn't want to be you. The Cuban state newspaper blamed what it described as the Miami Mafia. That's what they called Cuban exiles who was living in Florida at the time, right? The Cuban press blamed them for provoking the incident, alleging that the Cuban American National Foundation organized a public gathering to abuse Stevenson when he returned to Miami Airport after his arrest, so he didn't go back. The newspaper believed that the motives for the alleged provocation were somehow to cast a shadow upon the Cuban sports star and to get money. You know, people like they always get Mike Tyson. Like, was it last year the kid tried, Mike punched some kid 2 years ago on a plane, and then you sue, you know? Take that punch, just don't kill me, Mike, and then you sue him. Because they know Mike is easy to provoke, right? Stevenson died on June 11, 2012 of a heart attack in Havana, Cuba, at the age of 60. Well, he was young, younger than me, right now. Got to eat right, walk, your exercise and stuff. But Teofilo he was a former boxer. He should have been in good shape, I guess. I don't know. But he died at 60 of a heart attack. It was first reported by Cuban state media, stating the Cuban sporting family was moved today by the passing of one of the greatest of all time. He was survived by his 2 children. There you have it, Teofilo Stevenson. One of only three-time Olympic gold medalists, okay? 20-year amateur career, very decorated amateur. Teofilo. Now let's talk about the Cuban boxing school, okay? And the Cuban boxing system. You know, pretty interesting little article. That is a fire system. Every country should have a system like that. Everybody smashing on the like button. Appreciate it. Yeah, Friday is a huge day in the JBT, man. We got 8 o'clock, J Hardcore in the Hangout. Then at 10 o'clock, we got the new show, The Casuals, Remo and Aunt McQueen, Fire Show, man. Then at 2 o'clock, we got Cass Sports, The Box Story. That's me. 4 o'clock, we got Just Do Boxing. 8 o'clock, J Hardcore is back in the Hangout for the Friday night Hangout. 10 o'clock, we got 9 o'clock, we got the Mighty Rise podcast. 10 o'clock, we got the Angry White Men. So Friday is just, woo. The JBT is clicking on all cylinders on Friday, man. Every day, really, but Friday, we doing it in overtime on Friday. Overdrive on Friday, yeah. Okay, we trying to make every day like that, the JBT, okay? Every day, not just Friday, every day. Every day. Come on, man. Come up. I've been looking at it all morning. There it is. I was getting ready to get angry. The Angry Black Box Story. Okay, I got it. The Angry White Men tonight at 10. Don't miss it. You'll be doing yourself a real disservice. You're gonna have to link time, about 3:30, about 20 minutes or so. But right now, let's talk about this Cuban boxing. Okay? Now, boxing is a very popular sport in Cuba. Now, as of 1992, there were over 16,000 boxers on the island. Now, across Cuba today, there are over 490 boxing coaches and almost 200 facilities. Of the 99,000 athletes in Cuba currently, almost 20,000 are boxers, including 81 of Olympic competitors, even though only 12 make the Olympic team. Now, professional boxing was banned in Cuba from 1962 until April 2022, just 2 years ago. Just 2 years ago, boxing returned professionally in Cuba. Let's look at a little history before we get to the Cuban boxing, okay? How's everybody today? Hope you're enjoying the show. Now, boxing originally arrived in Cuba as a tourist attraction, mainly as championship fights between North American boxers during the high tourist season, right? Now, in 1909, Havana had its first professional fight. In 1919, a Chilean named John Budenich established the first boxing academy in Havana. 2 years later, government banned boxing due to the violence on the streets between blacks and whites. Now, fights had to go behind closed doors as they grew popular throughout the island. It was banned, but it was still growing in popularity, so they had to go behind closed doors. Now, despite the banishment of the sport at the time, for the lower classes, boxing constituted a possible ticket out of poverty, as well as steady and reliable entertainment, okay? Now, a very famous and controversial fight took place in Cuba on April 5th, 1915, when Jack Johnson, the world heavyweight champion, defended his title against Jess Willard. Willard won the title by a 26th-round knockout. The fight between the two Americans was controversial because it has been rumored several times that Johnson let Willard win the fight, okay? Now, recognizing boxing's potential to take families out of poverty and to entertain crowds, on December 13th, 1921, Cuba decided to give boxing another chance and legitimize boxing again with the establishment of the National Commission on Boxing. The lift on the ban brought tourist dollars with the fights, okay? Now, years later, a National Boxing Academy was established to train talented athletes. The next decade, Golden Gloves amateur competition had also arrived, okay? Now, by 1959, Cuba had 6 professional world champions who were considered to be the founding fathers of boxing, as well as national heroes of Cuba. These fighters included Geraldo Kid Gavilan Gonzalez. I know y'all heard me talk about Kid Gavilan. Benny Parrott, that's the one that Reddy got killed in the ring. He called, I forgot the guy's name, American fighter. Anyway, Benny Parrott called this guy a faggot in the final press conference. And the guy beat him to death in the ring. Right? Not a good move, Benny. I'm sorry he lost his life for that. That was not a good move. I can't remember the guy's name. He was like a welterweight. Anybody know? Bruce Gas? Who was it that killed Benny Parrott in there? I'm going to think of it. It's going to come to me. Welterweight fight. Not Ezra Charles. Oh, wait. Bear with me for a minute. I got to know. I'm sorry. Don't leave. I'm just like that, man. When something come up, I have to know right then on the spot. And we got Google. Back when I was growing up, something like this, you had to wait weeks, maybe months to find out. But now it's right as fast as you can type, you get it. But yeah, Benny called him a faggot in the final press conference, and the guy beat him to death in the ring. All I got to put is boxer that killed Benny Parrott. I'm going to have it in a second. Put it in the chat, somebody. Is it in there? Put it in the chat. Is it in there? Oh, come on. Emil Griffith. That's him. I'm sorry. I had to know, man. I've just always been like that. Yeah, Emil Griffith. That's who it was. Yeah. Yeah, Benny called him a faggot at the final press conference, man. And you got to fight this guy the next day. And Emma was mad, man. He beat him to death. He might have lightened up when he got him in trouble if he hadn't called him that name, but Emma had him over there against the ropes just teeing off on it. Probably talking to him too. But anyway, Benny was one of those fighters that I was talking about that they called national heroes. Kid Gavilan, Benny Parrott, Eligio, Kid Chocolate, Sardinas. In spite of the sport's promise of prosperity, the Cuban boxers who earned a lot of money in the ring almost commonly died impecuniously. But some boxers also had ties with the mafia and other sources of corruption. Okay? Now, Cuba's boxing reputation also drew foreign boxers as well, such as Jack Johnson, Jack Dempsey, Jess Willard, Joe Louis, Joe Brown, and Sugar Ray Robinson. Now, although Cuba had traditionally done well in professional boxing, it did not win an Olympic gold medal in boxing until after 1959, due to considerable resources being devoted to the development of athletes as a result of the Cuban Revolution. In 1960, the professional boxer Benny Parrott won the world welterweight title and headed a strong contingent of professional Cuban boxers who followed up their fifth place at the 1954 Games with the first place, a position they have held in all subsequent Central American Games. In the Pan American Games, where the competition was stronger, Cuban boxers also performed well, particularly from the late 1960s forward. The high international standard of Cuba's boxers was evident in the Olympic arena. In 1961, along with other sports, the revolutionary government banned professional boxing. But thanks to a huge government financial investment, Cuba has built a reputation in Olympic boxing. At the 1968 Summer Olympic, Cuba won 2 silver medals. They didn't get heavyweight because Big George got that. At the 1980 Moscow Olympics, Cuban boxers swept the field, winning 10 medals, 6 of them gold. But remember, the United States wasn't there. So it's an asterisk by 1980. They wouldn't have had all those golds if the United States would have been there. They would have had some, but not that many. At the 1992 Summer Olympics in Barcelona, Spain, the Cubans outdid themselves with 7 gold and 2 silver medals. By the 1980s, Cuban boxers were dominant in all major international amateur competitions, including the Olympics. Throughout its Olympic history, Cuba won 37 gold medals, 73 overall in boxing. Second place in the all-time medal table. Cuba is the only country that has 2 3-time Olympic champions, Teofilo Stevenson and Felix Savon. Yep, 2 of them. And the ban on professional boxing was lifted in April 2022. It's a couple years ago. And now let's look at this Cuba amateur boxing system. Then I'm gonna drop the link here. Anybody can come up and chop it up or chop it down. You know, like I always say, come up and tell me how much you like the show, or come up and tell me how much you hate it, right? 3:30. Now you're gonna cry till after the show though if you tell me you hate it. Okay. The Cuban amateur boxing system. Foreign influence contributed to the development of Cuban amateur boxing. Before the Cuban Revolution in 1959, Cuba's achievements in amateur boxing were diminutive. Components of their boxing style were derived from American professional boxing. After the Revolution, Eastern European methodology replaced the American influences. Andrei Chervoyenko of the Soviet Union has trained Teofilo Stevenson, and his compatriot Vasily Romanov has trained other boxers as well. Okay? The Cuban government used sport as a means of exhibiting the success of the new socialist government, and winning medals in international competitions became a high-profile means of promoting the ideals of New Cuba, right? You know, that's when Fidel took over in 1959, okay? Overthrew the previous government. And Fidel was president until like 2016 when he passed away, because Cuba don't have elections. Just like Fidel overthrew the government, took over, you got to have a military stronger than his and overthrow him. So his brother's president now. It's the only way you take over. Okay? No elections. You got to just take over. Just bum guard the presidency. Bogart it. Bum rush up in there and take over. say Castro you out. I forgot his brother's name, but that's how they do it down there. Still to this day, no elections. Now, the Soviet Union sent experienced boxing coach Andrei Chermenyenko to help develop Cuban fighters in order to assist its socialist brethren in their goals, right? Along with Cuba's own Alcides Segura, Chermenyenko helped develop a comprehensive national recruiting and training program based on the Soviet model. Alcides Segura became Cuba's boxing head coach in 1960, and then later passed on his position to Sibelio Fuentes in 2001. Now, the Cuban boxing system, along with other sports programs, start in grammar school. Sports are considered a high priority in the Cuban education system, and it's there a potential athlete can be recognized in grammar school, okay? That's why they're so good. They start young down there, man. That's a part of, like we study science, English, algebra in school, they study boxing. That's a part of their program, okay? From the age of 12, talented youth are sent to specialized schools where they can focus on enhancing their skills. From there, the young boxers train throughout a very competitive youth program. The ones that graduate from the program are sent to the top school in Wajay, where they train advanced drills and exercises. Wow, they serious. The support that the state gives is crucial to the advancement of the highly technical boxing program. Boxer Teofilo Stevenson, who had won 3 Olympic gold medals in 72, 76, and 1980, has made many contributions to Cuba and Cuban boxing. He is equally known for his sportsmanship, receiving the UNESCO Pierre de Coubertin Fair Play Prize in 1989. After retiring in boxing in 1986, he has served both in the Cuban Parliament and as a vice president of the Cuban Boxing Federation. After a career fighting for their country, most Cubans continue to stay in the sport, many as administrators or trainers. Some of them get out of there like Ugas, come on over here. They tried to get Teofilo. After the Munich games, they told him, I got $1 million on the spot, don't go back. But Teofilo said, no, he loved this country too much. Now, through this way, the knowledge and experience is passed down to the next generation of athletes. That's it, the Cuban Boxing School. Serious thing. I'm gonna put the link in now. And there's Melanin Queen 27. What's up, Melanin Queen 27? Right, no crying out, Booger. You're 100% right. Subscribe to Cash Sports. Hit the JBT Cash App, $ JBT Network, all caps 1. Or hit the Cash Sports Cash App, $ CAS 2878. Support the grind. All monies go to the betterment of the channel and the JBT. Okay? And don't forget to get your ticket for the raffle. D1 won the first raffle. He is enjoying that 55-inch color TV every day up there. So, who's going to be the next winner? He sent us a picture after he got it. It could be you. $10 for 1 ticket and $25 for 3. Well, I got a subscriber today. Appreciate it. Pushing up on 1,000. I'm kicking 1,000 in the butt, man. I want to get there. But here comes the link. Anybody is welcome. And me and Old School going to be talking about Muhammad Ali Monday. That's my part-time co-host. William Old School Orange. I've been saying it wrong all this time. I heard D1 say orange. I think that's what it is. I was saying Iran. But Old School never corrected me. But it's all good. Forget what you heard. It's all good. And if you haven't heard, you better ask somebody. I'm just killing time while I'm getting this link in. But I hope everybody's having a great day and ready for this big weekend. Great card tomorrow, man. I went over it in the beginning. That's a fire card. Christian and Billy, Sergey, Deborah, Yanchenko in the main. The co-main is Mark Mandab. Back Mark Mandab versus Guido Vianello. Got a good women's fight on the card. Layla Begodoin versus Lizbeth Crespo. You know that's not right. If your name's not Smith or Brown or Jones, I can't pronounce it. I do my best though. Come on, here's the link coming. And we're gonna chop it up. We got the voice coming in here at about a half hour, 4 p.m. Just Do Boxing, bringing you everything from boxing today, balance and bias. I told you Friday is just crazy in the JBT, man. Woo. It is just, Friday is just the day. And it's still early, you know? Early in the day. We got 4 or 5 great acts still coming up tonight. And we're going to close it down with the Angry White Men at 10 p.m. What a way to close the day out, man, with a fire show like that. D1 and William Old School Iran. Yeah, Friday is quite a day in the JBT, man. If you're not down with it, you better get down with it. You miss it out. Yeah, I'm right at the end of another big week of boxing history here at Cass Sports. I got another big one next week. Next week, me and Old School gonna talk about Muhammad Ali Monday. Then Tuesday, Monday is usually the show where we do boxing styles, you know, punches, footwork. It's gonna be Tuesday. And I'm gonna talk about the peekaboo style Tuesday. Yep, the old peekaboo, right? Wednesday, show comes out of the chat. It's brought to you by Remo, but I forgot what it was. It was like some big upset, you know, the biggest upsets. Something to do with upsets. I gotta look at my notes, but that's Wednesday. And then the Boxing in the State series continues Thursday with Idaho, right? And the profile next week is the life and career of Zab Judah. That's a long one there, Zab. We're gonna talk about Zab next week, yeah. And another big week of boxing history coming your way from Cass Sports to Box Story. And we got the Monster, D.A. Monster, the Monster, back in there on September 3rd, the Tuesday after next. And my buddy on the card is Mel Barroso. Yeah, we the same age. Yeah. And ain't it something how all those young guys at 140 is afraid of him? Won't fight him. The old man got to go all the way to Japan to get a fight, man. Come on, guys. And why did they put Barroso in a title eliminator? He never got to fight for the title. You know, they say he's not a draw, but why put him in a title eliminator if you wasn't going to get a man a title shot? And he sparked the guy out in the first round, remember? What's his name? Davis? Sparked him out in the first round. But has yet to get his title shot. Shame, man. That's a shame. I got Barroso over anybody at 140. Anybody. Yeah. It won't be Pitbull now because Pitbull don't have no title. Pitbull blew his tank fight. You know, when Loma wasn't going to fight Pitbull, if he would have won, it probably would have been Pitbull. That's a big money fight. Pitbull's got a country behind him, you know. And, you know, the black versus Mexican fights, man, just is what it is. That's a draw. Always have been, you know. And, yeah, and Pitbull had that good performance the first time when Tank messed his hand up. So, you know, some people say he won. I wanted to see it because I think Tank owes Pitbull a knockout. But Pitbull blew it. He shit the bed. Like my buddy Jay Hardcore would say, yeah. Shit the bed bad. Yeah. But no, he didn't really, not really. Ryo just fought a good fight. You can't really say Pitbull fought a bad fight. It was more so Ryo fighting a good fight, man. That fire game plan him and Robert Garcia had. And Ryo went out there and executed it. He was in tip-top condition, man. He was able to sustain that game plan for 12 entire rounds, man. Remember? Yeah. Ryo did a great job. And then we got to be patient for Tank and Shakur fight because look at it this way. If Tank and Loma had fought in November, we wasn't getting Tank in November until 2025 anyway. So it's on the same trajectory. By summer 2025, we'll have Tank and Shakur. Okay, they both get a couple. They both get at least one more fight under their belts. Okay, think of how good a Tank Shakur fight will look after a Shakur win over Williams or Payton. That'll make it even that more attractive. So we got to be patient, man. It's coming. Because if Tank and Loma fought next, we wasn't getting Tank and Shakur before 2025 anyway. So just be patient. We're getting it, okay? And they both just got to keep winning, and they will. And like I just said, think how big it will be after a Shakur win over Williams or Payton. That'll make Tank and Shakur that much bigger, right? So it's coming. They can take their time, man, because I like both of them, and that's going to be tough. I win both situations, I lose both situations. Man, that is going to be a good fight, though. That's one of the biggest fights in boxing right now. So let it marinate for like a little while longer. Not quite a year. I'm thinking early summer or late spring next year. Okay, next year. Here it is, Melanie Queen 27. There it is, Melanie Queen. CS 287. Oh, wait a minute. That's not right. Ain't no comma in there. There it is, Melanie Queen. Appreciate you 1,000%. Melanie Queen 27 is just great, man. Definition of moderator. The best moderator in the world. But yeah, she's a part of that fire JBT. She's our secretary, as a matter of fact. Yeah. What'd you say? Never mind, Apple. What would you say? Not sure he has his own channel. Oh yeah, I do. Yeah. That's it. Yeah. But yeah, Melanie Queen 27 is the JBT secretary. Vice president, everything. Yes, she does a great job over here, man. Yeah. We just got to fire your organization, man. You know, that analytical technological team, Remo, Aunt McQueen, and Horry Finch. That is just awesome. Yeah. But we got The Voice coming up next. He's going to be talking some more boxing. Part of that Fire Friday JBT Day. Like I said, we trying to make every day like Friday. Just JBT all day. Just boxing talk. And it's still early. We got about 4 more acts coming. Just Do Boxing at 4. J Hardcore at 8. The Rise Podcast at 9. And Angry White Man at 10. It is Friday, right? Yeah. I'll be back Monday with some more boxing history. Monday's like going to be me and Old School talking about Muhammad Ali. I got a lot to talk about on Ali. Yeah, I can't wait to see what Old School think about the Ali Teofilo Stevenson matchup, man. Like I said, I got Ali early, part of the 70s, but late or early 80s to Ali that lost to Trevor Berbick, that Ali doesn't beat Teofilo Stevenson. No way. The one that lost to Spinks, he already had a little Parkinson's around that time, man. You know, before he fought Holmes, he had been in the hospital for a few months before, and Don King made him fight Holmes to pay back the money he owed him for the hospital bill. Don King was just no good, man. Yeah. Ali should have been retired. And then he fought Trevor Berbick after that. The man was trying to pay Don King his money back, you know. No business still in the ring. I mean, Trevor Berbick, come on, man. But Mike Tyson got both of them back. Mike stopped both of them, okay? Yeah. He promised Ali he was going to get Holmes back for him. Told him to his face he was going to get Holmes back, and he did it. Yeah. But yeah, that's going to be our topic Monday. That's going to be fun. Make sure you're here for it. Old School is very knowledgeable on boxing history too. So we have to tap into that. You know what I mean? We have to tap into that knowledge every now and then. He'll get a Monday off and join me here on Cat Sports. You know, we're all JBT. And we'll be seeing him tonight. What y'all got on Billy and Derby Yanchenko tomorrow? I think Billy will get him. But it will be a tough fight. Yanchenko has been in there, but like I was saying, he's been in there with a bunch of good fighters. Danny, what's his name? Been in there against Mel, Jaime Munguia, Triple G. Danny from New York. I'll get ready to tell you in a minute. Jacobs. And Daniel Jacobs, Triple G, Mel, Jaime Munguia. So Sergey is loaded with experience. Went over the schedule yesterday too. Boxing, we're in great shape, man. We got some fights coming up. We got Anthony Joshua and Daniel Du Bois in October. They going for that belt that they stripped Usyk of. Why did they strip Usyk though? Because he fought Fury. I mean, everybody should have wanted that fight. But anyway, he got stripped. Joshua and Du Bois going for that, and then finally getting Lara. Erislandy Lara and Danny Garcia. They've been trying to make that fight for a long time. Remember, they've been talking about that one. We finally getting that. I think that's on the Anthony Joshua card, October 12th, I believe. I know Rolly is that Canelo Belanga. Now we might not. I don't like that fight, but it's a good card. You know, Rolly's on that card. It was somebody else that was a fire fight that's on that card. Oh man. I think Lara and Danny Garcia might be on that one. Yeah. Oh, Boots got another mandatory. Guess who it is? You won't believe it if you haven't heard. It's Curran. Now, why in the hell are they ordering him to fight Curran? Man, that's Eddie Hearns did not like that either. Isn't that something? Boots was ordered to fight Curran as his next mandatory, man. So what are we going to see? Curran run around the ring for 12 rounds again? Come on, man. I was reading that and laughing at the same time. And Eddie was pissed off. Yeah, Boots versus Curran again. They was trying to make a unification fight with Barrios. And Barrios will take the smoke because Barrios don't duck any smoke. It look like it's going to be Curran next to Boots. And you know I ain't fooling with Curran last night. I don't even know where to start at. Yeah. But yeah, that's what they ordered. That's crazy. Who wants to see that? After what happened last time. The man ran for 12 rounds. But I've watched some old Curran fights, and he don't always fight like that. Curran mixes it up. So maybe, yeah, that's true, Al Booker. That is a great point. We will see. We will see if he learned how to do that. Curran might mix it up this time. Because I've seen him do it in fights. Yeah. But if he fights like that, we will see, Al Booker. We will definitely see. Oh, Joe's in here. What's up, Joe? What's happening? Oh, yeah, that Ali. Yeah, Joe. That's what I'm saying earlier. Yeah. That Ali washes Stevens, man. Yeah. No doubt about that. But salute, Joe. Yeah, that Ali, the one that fought Foreman, all three Frazier fights, Shavers. Stevenson don't stand a chance against that Ali. I'm talking about later Ali that was developing Parkinson's and stuff, you know. The one that shouldn't even been still fighting. But the Ali you talking about, Joe? Yeah, Stevenson, I don't even think they would put him in there with that Ali. He wouldn't stand a chance. No. But that's a good point, Al Booker. We will see. Depending on how Curran fights him, you know. You think Curran will do the same thing again, Al Booker? Run around the ring again? Like he did last time? Or you think he's gonna stand there and fight him? Curran does fight like that, man. I've seen him do it. You don't stand in there. Yeah. But he didn't want to get knocked out. So he ran. Now, I don't like seeing fighters run, but Curran ran. Okay. Curran ran. Yes, he did. For 12. He was in good condition. He was able to do it for 12 rounds. So we'll see if Boots has learned how to cut the ring off, like Al Booker said. That is a great point. We are definitely going to see, because they ordered it. I couldn't believe it. Like, why the hell would they order that? You know? Yeah, the link is pinned in there. Yeah, why would they order that fight? So we can see a man run around the ring so he can say he didn't get knocked out again. And where's Vila? Vila must have really been in bad shape. He hasn't fought since. Haven't heard nothing from him. But you know the exchange rate in money down there. So Vila might have took, like Castano did. Castano took the money from the Mel fights. He's a billionaire in, was it Argentina? Yeah. He's a billionaire. So he said, I ain't got to get up in that ring no more. Because yeah, our money is worth so much down there. Tell you in a minute. In Argentina, it's crazy. It's like a crazy exchange rate, man. If you got $20 on you right now, you probably got like 500 in Argentina. Is it Argentina where Castano is from? I think it was, wasn't it? Yeah. I believe it was. Wherever he's from, the exchange rate is crazy, some kind of crazy conversion. One Argentinian peso equals 11 cents to out in the United States. 1 peso equals 11 cents. Okay, here we go. Here we go. No damn way, man. No way. This thing says, if you got $100 in the United States, I don't believe this, it's worth $93,000 in Argentina. No way, man. No damn way. $93,000, $100? That's crazy. Wow. So no wonder Castano didn't fight anymore. Man, he's a trillionaire with the 2 bags he made from the Mel fights. Did you hear that? $100, 100 US dollars is worth $93,000 in Argentina. Wow. That's crazy. That is crazy. Yeah, since the dollar goes a long way in Argentina. No. $1 is worth 850. It would be, if you got $1, it would be $850 or 850 pesos in Argentina. Damn. I'm rich in Argentina. Dude, I'm a billionaire down there. We all are. But it's a rough country though, down there. So yeah. But winding down here, we got Just Do Boxing in about 15 minutes. Enjoyed everybody's company today. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, enjoyed it. And then we got another big week coming up next week. I was reading. Yeah, it is, Al Booker. Wow. Yeah, 94,000. Ain't that crazy, Al Booker? $100 equals 94,000. We're all millionaires in Argentina, but it's kind of rough down there, though. So, man, wow. But yeah, I didn't see any fights for next weekend. The next card was like September 3rd, you know, and that was yeah, that's the next one I saw, September 3rd. That's Tuesday. That's next Tuesday. That was the monster, Naoya Inoue. Yeah. And he's going up against TJ Doheny. I guess that's how you pronounce his name. Barroso on that card. A lot of Japanese fighters. I think it's another championship fight on there also. Yeah. And then the next Saturday card is the following Saturday. Where you been, T Hill? Yes. What's happening? What's up, T Hill? How are you today?
That's good. Which let me
just another day in the JVT. Chilling.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
What's
I'm over
going
here
on today? You driving?
Yeah, man. I gotta go pay for somebody. Oh yeah, like I said, whatever was attacking me ain't what they think it is, but I gotta figure out what it is.
Oh man.
But in the meantime, I gotta treat it like it was what they said it is, so that they can rule it out. I had this happen to me 20 years ago, so
did you?
I know. Yeah, I know it's not so. It was worse 20 years ago.
Okay.
It was real worse 20 years ago. But something's going on that allows for it to come. It came back. So whatever it is, I gotta make sure to figure it out. But you know, because the brother was up in the hospital, I'm all crispy and cool. I'm not crispy. I'm all rough and whatnot.
Medication has got you feeling good and everything, though, right?
Say what?
The medication got you feeling well and everything, though, right?
The medication is doing what it needs to do. It's getting a lot of the pressure off of me. I had so much pressure because the fluid that was building up in me. I got likewise, it was causing my blood pressure to run really, really high.
Oh man!
So it was real high. So I had like so much fluid in me and high blood pressure, but it was causing, it was attacking everything in my body. It was attacking my kidneys.
Did you have high blood pressure already, or just because of that?
Well, yeah, that kind of run in my family, but I had it all the way down to where it's reasonable for me because I got back pain from injuries that I had a long time ago. So that's gonna always be there no matter what. So my pain's gonna be slightly elevated. So my pressure be like 130 or 140 over like 90 something.
That's not too bad.
It's not too bad, but it's indication that it's up. But it's up because of pain.
That's not bad for somebody my age, but for a younger person, that is a little, especially the lower number, you know.
Well, man, my aunt, her blood pressure like 90 something over 60 something.
Ooh, that's low.
She really like everything besides like, and she in pain too. That's the cold part about it. So like I got narrowing the veins going down low too. So that kind of like makes it work harder as well too. But we gonna figure it out. I'm good right now. Like I said, I'm able to do things.
Right.
I don't feel like the damn alien coming out my stomach and anything like that. So that's good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, your boy Teofilo though, man, he was a very, very, very good boxer. And like my man said, he was much older than the people but that's always the case for a lot of our people, because before we were sending young people that were truly amateurs in there against people that was damn near pros because of the way that they competed. And like you're talking about a nation that takes the best, the cream of their crop, and takes it from their family and puts them into an organization where they can train them so that they can represent their nation, because they want to show their nation that's supreme. So like
from a young age too.
Exactly. And they stay for that nation as long as they're part of that nation and if they don't go pro. That's why a lot of them be trying to, they swim across them seas because they want out of that. And they want to be a chance so they can make money for them and their family.
That's right.
So you know, because when you're part of the thing, you just get taken care of. And if they don't want to take care of your family, you got to take that. But
that's right.
You're making money off of you're getting your claim and your stuff that makes notoriety for your nation, but they ain't doing nothing for you. So that be the thing that really had them to the point where they want to leave and do it. But that's how come they're so much better, because they're older, they're more advanced, and they get better training because they've been having that training for the longest.
Yeah.
That's everywhere. Now you said, go ahead.
Like sometimes at 12 years old, they take them out of the school and send them to
even earlier than that.
That's all they do. Eat, read, and sleep boxing, man.
Exactly. If they're a phenom and they recognize it early, they take them as early as they possibly can. Mm-hmm. And you belong to that nation. That's why it's always difficult to beat them just on the rip. Then you factor in that they don't like the U.S., so you get scores that go against you. Then you factor in that they allowed to take drugs and stuff like that goes against you. So it's like, to me, if you want there to be competition, then everything has to be baseline and has to have the streamline of fairness, and that's what we lack in this world, because if that was the case, there would be no hate for certain folk.
Mm-hmm. That's right, Al Booker. Basketball was the same way. Before we started sending the dream teams, we was always going up against the big older guys from them other countries, professional age, against our college players. Remember?
Now, the thing about
Go ahead, Tio.
No, the thing about the dream team. The Dream Team actually put basketball on the map on a global standpoint.
Yes.
People saw that and got inspired. So
the world
now,
had to get better. They had no choice. You're right, Tito.
Yeah. So people that came from these places, they went back and brought back to their places. And they made sure that the people that they love, that they represent, that they grew up with, that they got the same kind of amenities afforded to them, or at least competitively, so that they can be able to provide the way for them. Because if you can be part of that 400 people, I think it's like 400 people, maybe it's 200 people. I know it's not that many people that get into the league, but if you can be a part of that, I think it's 246. Then you can change your family's dynamic greatly. Yeah. So basketball has gotten a lot closer in competition because of this, and because of the Dream Team. The Dream Team is the reason, the catalyst between the world catching up or getting closer. I won't say catching up, because
they had no choice.
Huh?
So what happened to them in '92? They had to get better. When we first sent that first Dream Team.
But it's also the inspiration of that team, seeing that team together and seeing what that team do.
Yeah.
They saw basketball at a different
thing. Remember?
Yeah.
The 92 team never even called timeout during the whole tournament. That's how good they were.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And then they had Barkley. See, the thing that people don't recognize with that Dream Team is that Barkley was the unstoppable force on that team. I know they're gonna attribute everything to Jordan, like everything always gets attributed to Jordan. But the real reason why that team was dominant was because of Charles Barkley. There was no answer for Charles Barkley on that team.
Okay. Damn. They had everybody, man. Jordan.
They did.
Magic.
Well, Bird, if Bird would have been healthy in his back, he would have been definitely a force to reckon with. He didn't play much, but he was still Bird, though. He's still good enough to be better than anybody that lined up against him.
80% Larry Bird was better than 100% of a lot of other people.
50% Larry Bird is better than 100% of a lot of people.
Right. That's true.
You know what I'm saying? You got to be a special player to trump Bird. There ain't no special players out there that was going to trump Bird.
No.
Same thing with Magic. Hell, Christian Laettner was better than most of them people out there.
Yeah, they had to take a college player, right?
Yeah, he was better than most of them, not all of them. There are some players that would definitely eat his lunch. But for the most part, he shouldn't have been on that team. If they would have picked a college player, it should have been Shaq. Because Shaq was something different. Now, I will say Christian Laettner was the best player in the college, skill-wise. But Shaq brought something beyond skill that you definitely couldn't compare for. You know, but it is what it is. I thought Isaiah Thomas could have been on that team.
I know. Mike didn't like him.
Mike Noah Pippen liked him. So, you know, they pulled rank and said, he on the team, we ain't on the team.
But you know, when Isaiah was from Chicago, when Mike first got to Chicago in the pros, Isaiah looked out for him. Mike was
looked out for him, man. He's safe and everything. Yeah, Isaiah, good dude, man. Nobody can say anything bad about Isaiah.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right, Cass.
Not Isaiah, it was Mike.
Yeah. Isaiah, stand-up dude. Matter of fact, Isaiah always, when he was the president for the basketball
Players Association,
he looked out for people.
Yes, he did.
He just didn't like the fact that they spun a narrative that he was like bad and Jordan was good, and like he like you said, he made the streets of Chicago safe for Jordan.
Yes, he did, and Jordan was staying with his family.
Exactly.
When he first got there, man. Yeah.
Exactly.
A lot of people know those stories, man.
Yeah, they also don't know that Isaiah was whooping his ass too. Isaiah
when they first played them Detroit, they would be like, Mike, you ain't beating us. They would play football against Mike when he got near that basket.
You already know, Cass. Like I keep it a buck, man. I have who I like, but I don't like who I like. Just like shade my or cloud my ability to use sound logic.
That's right,
man. You know,
that's right.
In this sport, there are many great things that take place, and there are many great people who play it. I'm not one who's gonna put one above the other, because that's very hard to do, because they don't all do the same thing on the court. Likewise, they don't all play with the same teammates, and they don't all play against the same competition. So there's really no level playing field to measure nobody against. You could say somebody dominated this because of this, but when you look at it on this standpoint, like, they don't look like they was athletic or as skilled. But then you see, like I saw with my own eyes, Bill Russell grab a rebound, take 3 dribbles, and then take off from the free throw line and jump over somebody and lay the ball up. That's impressive.
I know.
You can't tell me that's not next level athleticism.
Yeah. They was.
So that dude was legit.
Championships. They was winning the championship every year. Couldn't nobody else get near it back in them days.
The man coached and won a championship. You feel me? He coached and won a championship. That's not easy to do.
No.
So when people tell me stuff, it's like, yo, I'm not inclined to be listening to what they say just because they say it. And that's why I have a lot of problem with a lot of these people on this YouTube thing, because they just follow whatever they hear. And I was told, believe half of what you see, none of what you hear. These people follow everything. So I can't do that, man. I let what I see, and I take it in, and I let it judge it against the other things that I see to make my formulations and my opinions.
That's right.
And
what
like
somebody told you in mind, and then you see for yourself, you know.
So yeah, you know, it is what it is, man. I think that with the Olympics and with international boxing, I think that, you know, they got a lot to clean up. I think that they had a lot of cleanup inside the professional ranks as well too, because like it's clearly not a level playing field. It's clearly not producing the fights that we need to see, and it's clearly taking advantage of young people.
And not just the fights we want, but some fighters deserve, like Barroso, man. That man deserves a title for that, you know.
And you know, he should be getting that fight. He should. Yeah. So El Rayo really should be fighting him.
Yes.
Because that's who he should be fighting. And I stand on that, because that man earned every bit of that fight.
Title eliminated. He should have got the role he fight instead of Pitbull.
He should have. And since they didn't, he should have got the fight that Rayo got. And since he didn't, he needs to get the Rayo fight.
But he's on the monster card. Get some Japanese boxers on the 3rd next Tuesday.
Oh, okay.
They won't give him his prop. They trying to wait him out because they know he old, you know.
Well, I don't care if he old or not. If he good enough to hold that title, he need a chance to hold that title. At least
But I
prove
think
that
that's
he
what they're
can.
doing, man. They trying
You
to say,
know, prove that he's old. Put him in
that's
there
what
and
I'm
let him
saying.
look.
Give the
'Cause
man the chance. You're right. You're 100% right. Yeah.
that's how I feel. So like,
Me
let's
too.
do that. You know what I'm saying? But give him his due because
Give him his
the man
chance.
deserved it. He earned every opportunity. Everything you told him to do, he did.
He did
Why
it.
is he getting penalized?
I know. It's crazy.
So yeah,
Yeah,
that's
that's
how I
great, Al Booger. Al Booger said about Isaiah was he both an angel and a devil. That's true. Yeah, he had his good sides and his bad sides. But that Jordan situation, I think that was more Jordan than Isaiah. The situation between them two. Yeah, I
Oh
think that
yeah,
was more.
Al Booger was right.
Yeah,
Leitner was the best college. Like I said, Leitner was the best college player. I can't argue against that. Just like
yeah,
you could
around
say
that
Jordan
time.
was the best. Jordan was the best basketball player. Can't argue with that. But look at what Barkley was doing though.
Yeah,
Like Barkley dominated that Olympics. Man, Barkley did in one Olympics. I think he played another one too. But what he did in one Olympics, it take people years in the Olympics to do. That
you
make you
talking about
freaky.
the '92
Yeah, that
one,
first
right?
one when we was with the Dream Team.
Yeah, yeah.
As a collection of people put together, if you would say they were in their primes, yeah, I would have no problem saying that was the best team ever assembled. I would not have a problem saying that. But they all weren't in their prime. But I do know who was in their prime. Jordan was in their prime.
Yeah.
Pippen was in their prime. Stockton was in their prime.
Yeah.
Mailman was in their prime. Robinson was in his prime.
Ewing. Wasn't Ewing on it?
Ewing's on his bad legs, though.
Yeah, he was going toward the end, but he wasn't as old as Magic and Bird and all.
No, Magic and Bird was on their way out.
It was at the end of their
Clyde kind of was on his
better
way
than
out.
a lot of other people, though. You know.
Oh yeah. Oh, most
90%
definitely.
of the league, they
Most definitely.
top.
When you think about it, the shortest player on the team. Yeah, the shortest player that was starting was I don't even think Barkley started. As a matter of fact, did he start?
I don't think so. No, I don't think.
I think it was Pippen, Jordan, Magic,
Bird, and Ewing. Wasn't Ewing the center? Or was it David
I
Robinson?
think Malone, and then the center was Trent.
But
David Robinson started most of it, but I think they switched them too.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
David Robinson, and because of David Robinson, you wasn't getting anything inside. Nothing was coming inside.
The Admiral, yeah.
My man Ace Boogie, always pray for love. That's my guy.
Yeah, they had everything covered on that team, man. They wanted to win. They was going to win that year because they had just lost. They lost in '88, right?
Yeah.
Last Olympics. So they was going to make sure we not losing this one in '92.
And then Jordan lost. He was on that team that last lost as well too. That when he went as well too.
Yeah, '92 was to make a statement, and they did it.
'92
margin of victory was like 31 points, I think.
Well, let's be real though. They had Pippen, Jordan, Barkley, Magic, Robinson, Mailman.
Yeah.
That wasn't going to lose nothing. They weren't going to lose nothing.
That was why they formed it.
Hey, you got Jordan on the team. You ain't losing much. That's just real talk. I'm going to be honest. You got Pippen. And people don't want to give Pippen his true debt. But without Pippen, Jordan don't see no damn titles. That's real.
No, we don't.
Yeah, that's real.
Then when they went for the other ones, when they got Rodman after the second going and doing the third three-peat, I said, I know they was going to win it that year once they got Rodman.
Oh, yeah, Rodman. That's another thing, too. When you look at the teams was complete in every single aspect because you got to have ball handling, you got to have passing, defending, rebounding, and scoring. Everything that they needed, they had. They had shooters who could shoot the ball precisely. They had people who could pass the ball, handle the ball. They had people who could defend the ball. They had people who could rebound the ball, who could guard the ball. So it was like that team complete, man. People be saying like Jordan. Yeah, Jordan was great. He was the man on that team, but that team was a great team.
They always had good management. Because they went and the management went and got what they needed. Because remember when John Paxson retired, they went straight and got Steve Kerr and filled that role right. Never missed a beat. They played
never missed a beat.
That same role.
Never missed a beat. They had B.J. Armstrong, Craig Hodges.
What they needed, right?
Yeah, they had all kinds of stuff, man. So like, I never let people underestimate that team because that team was great, and I'm not gonna like devalue nobody. Like, I can juxtapose it to the teams that Kobe played on that didn't have that great of talent. People always blame Kobe for the reason why they wasn't winning, but they didn't have the talent on there to win. You know, when they did have talent, they actually won.
You're right, T. One man is not going to do it by itself.
No one man ever does it. The only time I seen it come close to happening was when Allen Iverson was on the team, and he took that team to the finals against the Lakers, because they had no offense to speak of on that team. He was the offense.
Yes,
but they did have defenders, and they did have people who can grab rebounds. So they played a game that catered to them.
Right? Didn't they get swept?
Nah, they should have, but he went off. He went for 50 something, I think, or 48 that first game, and they got that one.
Yeah,
they got that one, because that was the year that the Lakers was gonna sweep through the whole damn playoffs without losing, and they lost to the weakest team they saw. They lost. They went through the whole damn playoff.
Probably took them lightly going in. Then they said, "Okay,
exactly." That hurt me because I'm a Lakers fan, but I'm a realist with the Lakers too. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, they never put shooters around Kobe and Shaq. They would have. We would have won way more championships.
Yeah,
but you know, it is what it is.
Kobe and Shaq, you know, their management wasn't as good as Chicago's on those two good teams.
Oh no. On top of that, you talking about a management that's laced with family. Yeah. So once Bus went down. Once Bus went down, and then, you know, they got rid of Jerry West.
Yeah,
they were incompetent.
Crazy.
The Lakers were incompetent.
Jeannie Buss,
she's still on it, but she makes bad decisions, and on top of that, you know, she be messing with. From what I was told, she be messing with the help.
Yeah, what's she doing now?
She be messing with the help.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah, she be having situationships with some of the people that are part of the program.
Yeah.
That's never good. You can never do that because you lose credibility. If that ever becomes a leak, even if it's not true, but it becomes a leak like it is, then you know there's no sustainability. Yeah, exactly.
Chemistry and everything.
Exactly.
You know? Yeah.
And then hiring that boy Pelinka didn't help either.
No, hell no, man.
That
was the worst move she made. She probably was messing with him. That's why he got the job.
Well, I know he was also Kobe's guy, and you know they loved him.
That's
Kobe.
True. Yeah, Kobe liked him too. That's true.
I mean, it took me a while to warm up on Kobe. I'm sorry. When we first got him, I was not a big Kobe fan.
No,
I was not.
He was loyal. He spent his
he was, and he was a hell of a player. A hell of a player. The player that I believe is the most skilled player that ever played that game. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I was not a big fan of his at all.
No, you came around to him eventually?
Well, he worked hard and he competed harder.
Yeah.
I gotta respect how he approached the game. Like, and then it was the fact that he stood up to Shaq. I had the same opinion of Shaq. Shaq can't tell me I got hurt on company time, so I'm gonna get healthy on company time. No, you use that off season to get yourself healthy too, because the better you are as a player, the better chance we have to win.
I'm seeing if you agree with this. Kobe work ethic remind me of Larry Bird's, the way he went at it, his mindset. That's how he remind me.
Yeah. You know why Larry Bird worked that hard?
Why is that?
He wasn't blessed with the skill set, with the ability that most of the people that he had played against.
Intelligent, man. Yeah.
So he had to work on sharpening his mind and sharpening his skills. Yeah. Larry Bird was, nobody can tell me anything bad about Larry Bird. I've seen him bust my team up many a time.
Yeah.
I've seen us not win championships because of him. And not just him, it was Parrish, it was McHale, it was Dennis Johnson.
They always had good management too.
They still have the best management. They still have the best management right now.
They lose something, they know how to go get it, put that piece back together.
Exactly. Danny Ainge
from the Wizards last off season, they won the title when they got him.
Exactly. They make the right moves.
Yeah.
And it's something to be said about people who continuously make the right moves. That's not luck.
It's the management.
And they got somebody in place that continuously makes the right moves.
And the same teams just always lose. Like the Wizards, they got bad management.
Like the Lakers.
Oh, yeah, terrible. Yeah, Jeannie Buss, you need to sell the team, man. But you can't get rid of the owner. You can't,
because that's one thing that's entrenched with them.
It's stuck with
her. So yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, I know it's already 1:12. I know we got to get in there. Always a pleasure to talk to you, my man.
Pleasure's all mine, too. Appreciate you.
Don't forget to give me that
gonna do a show together Monday. Don't miss that one.
Okay. I'm gonna tune in. I'm gonna be tuned in.
Okay. All right. I'll see you then. See you over at Just Dudes.
For sure.
Appreciate everybody in the chat. Al Booger. Everybody. But yeah, that was Thomas Hill coming up to help me out once again. We got to get over here to the voice. We was just going so good. I didn't want to stop it, but you know, the voice ain't too mad at me. Just do box. Okay. That's Cast Sports for the week. But I'll be back Monday because you know if it's Monday through Friday at 2 p.m., it's the Boxtorian bringing you all that boxing history. Joe, Just Do Boxing, Al Booger, Lonnie Lee, #JBT, James Brody, Thomas Hill, #JBT, Bruce Gas, Boxing Jazz, and more. Mike Grimm. Oh, D1 from the Angry White Men, #JBT. Let's Talk Fashion, #JBT. Mike Mazik, Trump, and Miss Cass, #JBT. We're at the end of another week. Just Do Boxing is in progress right now. Everybody have a great weekend. See you Monday. Cast Sports. Very late, Lonnie. Everybody have a good one.